Chapter 19, Human Limits. 20 days after Yeshua had left, still none of us had heard any news. I went every week to the river Yarden, as promised, and waited, watching, but there was no sign. It was the same at 30 days. Every day, my fear grew bigger. There was a physical limit to how long a human could survive in such desert extremes, and I felt we were close to that time. But how could this be God's plan? Surely God would not allow his only son to die. It took 40 days before Yeshua returned. When he finally reappeared, it was my 5th trip back to the river. I had never lost hope, and I never stopped praying. At first, Yeshua was just a speck on the horizon, a shadow moving slowly among the rocks. But I knew it was him. I could feel him. I stood up and followed his every step. He was only managing a few paces at a time. The closer he got, the more I could see how much he was struggling. His clothes hung off him. He looked even more wild and ragged than Yohanan. He looked broken. I called out to him and ran to go towards him, but he slowly waved a hand back to me, telling me to stay where I was. I stood and watched as he shuffled down to the far bank of the Yarden, threw his head in to drink for the longest time, then waded across. Over the years, I'd seen him come back from many trips into the desert, but never for so long, never alone. And I'd never seen look anything close to this. He waded out of the water near to where I was. Yarden had washed away some of the dust, but still his skin was burned and sore. He had cuts and scabs all over his hands, and his feet were raw in patches where his sandals had once been. He was stick-thin. He had grown a patchy beard, and he smelled like he had been living among wild animals for the whole 40 days that he had been in the desert. He was mumbling as he shuffled towards me, and the closer he got, the more I could hear. He was repeating a mantra to himself. Man cannot live on bread alone, but on every word that comes from the mouth of God. When he finally stood before me, I could instantly see that something had changed in him. It was his eyes. They were wild, yet also clearer, more determined than I ever seen them. I known that he was ready from the moment he had been baptized. Now, looking into his eyes, I could see that he knew it too.